dominating open like Africa's greatest boxer, Azumah Nelson.
Running so fast that can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up, what makes all of these sports complete is the screen. This is where you get access to all the extensive highlights, analysis, and insights.
So do join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on 2FM 92.7 as we serve you the best sports buffet and most satisfying in the sports world. The three sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in the sports world here on Sports Ultras.
Oh, sorry. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Midday Live on TV3, coming to you from our studio here at Adesanwe in Accra. I am Martin Asiedu Date. Coming up for the next 1 hour. We'll be live in Parliament in the next few minutes to give you indications of the former president of the NDC presidential candidate John Mahama and the entire leadership of the NDC are in Parliament for the swearing-in of James Gyekye Quayson. Still in politics, Alan Kojo Tremantin, former trades minister, says that Ghana is at the IMF because the NPP government failed to listen to his advice. He has started his campaign vigorously, will be on the trail. And on the international front, Senegal's president, Macky Sall, says he won't run for a third term. This was after some indications of rioting in Senegal if he did. We are live around the world on 3news.com. That's our website, and also streaming on Facebook. And also, if you're watching us on DSTV, you're on channel 279. Let's start from Parliament, because I'm sure you know by now that the Asin North Member of Parliament-elect, James Gyekye Quayson, has been sworn in. This makes it the second time he is taking the oath of Parliament after the Supreme Court earlier annulled his initial election. This subsequently led to the Asin North by-election, in which he won by some 57% over the New Patriotic Party's Charles Opoku. So on your shot now, or on your screens now, you see the Speaker of Parliament and the MP-elect taking the oath of membership of being a Member of Parliament, where he will be taking that seat shortly. So let's listen in, and then we'll come back to some conversations about it.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana. To the Republic of Ghana. As by law established. As the law established. That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana. That I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana. And that I will preserve. And that I will preserve. Protect. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God. So help me God. We now take the oath of a Member of Parliament. I, James Gyekye Quayson, having been elected a Member of Parliament, do in the name of the Almighty God swear. Do in the name of the Almighty God swear. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana, to the Republic of Ghana, as by law established, as by law established, that I will uphold, that I will uphold, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge the duties of the Member of Parliament. Discharge the duties of Member of Parliament. So help me God. So help me God. Honourable Member, congratulations. Thank you. On behalf of the Parliament of Ghana and the 275 members, I offer you the essential tools of your work, the Constitution of the Republic of.
All right, so those were images we got from Parliament when the Asin North MP was being sworn in. So clearly, now is a full member of Parliament after the election and subsequent swearing in. The minority in the House, however, have served notice that they will not partake in any business of the House so long as the MP for Asin North is still before court facing criminal charges. Let's listen to them.
I, James Jachi Kwesi, do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance
All right, we apologize for that. We'll bring you the specifics of what some of the minority MPs are saying. But from what we saw, they were all clad in white on the left side of the Speaker of Parliament, who himself is also wearing white. We do not know why the Speaker is in white, but clearly, of course, the minority are in white because it's a sign of support and victory that they've given. They were all deployed to campaign for the man who has now been sworn in. Let's speak to our parliamentary correspondent, Komla Kluche, who has joined us live for a conversation. Komla, good afternoon. Thank you for your time. To start with, has James Jachi Kwesi finally taken his seat?
Absolutely, Martin. James Jachi Kwesi has taken his seat, and he's now a full member of Parliament. In fact, he's at the back bench. Prior to their swearing in fact, the first time he was in the House before the Supreme Court annulled his election, and his name, the Supreme Court instructed the Parliament should have his name expunged. It was the same seat that James Jachi Kwesi was on. Today he's back again, and he's been sworn in to occupy that same seat. But I must say that in terms of the camaraderie between the NDC MP and also the NPP MP towards him, it hasn't really been anything much of a difference. In fact, the majority leader indicates that he cannot tell for certain any member of the House, from both sides of the House, who would say that James Jachi Kwesi is an enemy of theirs. In fact, he welcomed him and said that he believes that he would be given or be accorded the necessary cooperation for him to continue to do the work as a member of Parliament representing
from both sides of the House, who would say that James Jachi Kwesi is an enemy of theirs. In fact, he welcomed him and said that he believes that he would be given or be accorded the necessary cooperation for him to continue to do the work as a member of Parliament representing Asin North constituency. That was Chairman Sabonsu speaking. In fact, he equally even went ahead to talk about the fact that it is not a re-election, but it is an election because of the rulings of the Supreme Court. But Dr. Keselato Forsen, in speaking, congratulated him, congratulated the party as well, and all who matter from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, through to the chairman of the party and everybody within the party structure who has contributed in diverse ways. But coming specifically on the issue of Kwesi, he makes the point that it's been very, very, very clear. It's a signal that the people of Asin North have sent to the government and for politicians as a whole, that in the wake of the difficulties the country is going through economically, there shouldn't be any entertainment of, for want of a better word, ostentatious life being led by them. He recounts how there's been road construction, there's been doling out of money, and also he using the word incentives by some signs of the government that during the by-election, they saw so many things that he recounted here and said that that should be a thing of the past. He went on to talk about Kwesi being persecuted, where he was quite emphatic to say that with all that Kwesi has been going through, reiterating the point that he renounced his citizenship long ago before even filing his nomination. I mean, recognition must be given to that as such. Also encouraging the court to actually look at it from that eye. But on how they are going to work in the House, Dr. Kesela Tuforsen said, or served notice that they are actually going to accompany the Member of Parliament to the court right from here, so that he will go through the trial. In fact, the trial is going to receive a lot of support from all the 137 members of the minority group, and that they are encouraging their colleagues to stay away from proceedings of the House. In fact, the notice was quite clear, indicating that they are not going to cooperate with the members of the majority if the government continues to persecute him, making the points that calls by people, especially some influential people in the country, looking at the Domahine, also talking about the former Attorney General, Mr. Ikwe Otu, that the government should file a nolling prosecutor, for which Gyakye Kwesi is going to the criminal trial now. The state must discontinue the case to enhance the cooperation within the House. But from the notice that he served, it presumes that they are not willing to do business in the House as long as Gyakye Kwesi continues to go to court. And
okay,
so going forward, cooperation in the House is going to suffer a lot because they will not be available to partake in any of the businesses of the government as long as Gyakye Kwesi is before the High Court for the criminal charges that has been leveled against him.
Okay, Komla, clearly there is an update on whether or not his criminal case in court will still be heard. We have information, the very latest on that. We'll be giving our viewers a snippet of it in a jiffy. But in the meantime, talk to us about the former president and the leadership of the NDC who were in Parliament to witness the swearing in. Are they still there?
Okay, so John Dramani Mahama has left the House. He left here just a short while ago, and I mean, when he entered the House with all the minority MPs donned in their white apparel, you know, they showed their support. They went on to sing, you know, most of the songs that came out of the Asin North constituency, some of which I can't even sing yet, and the show of support for him, indicating that yes, he has shown leadership and that he, even coming to Parliament, has given them enough boost, and that their party is resolved beyond just the Asin North constituency by election, but the bigger picture, which is the 2024 election. A lot of them were around him, some to take pictures, some also, you know, he shook the hands of almost all the minority MPs in here. But one thing was quite evident was that he encouraged them. He was equally doing the sign of the number 3 and the for the form things that they were doing. He himself was enjoying the applause and the cheers of the people. He didn't just come alone, but he came with his 2020 running mate, Professor Jenano Pukwajiman, his former chief of staff, Julius Debra, as well as the chairman of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia. But Martin, let me tell you, when the speaker was doing the introduction and it got to that of Johnson Asiedu Nketia, typical of him and dramatic of him, you know, when his name was mentioned, he stood up to talk. The applause came, and the only thing he could do was to show the sign. I don't know what that begs, though. I mean, making it look as if he's been able to cut off the head of the MPP. Those were some of the things that he did. But in terms of how they came in their numbers, the public gallery was full to the brim, with a lot of NDC party faithfuls who thronged there. And so these are the people who came in. But as I speak with you now, the speaker is suspended the house for a couple of minutes to allow for transition so that they will come back to the house to continue the business of the day. But the notice has been served by the minority is that they are not going to continue this as long as Kwesien is before the criminal court or the high court on the criminal charges that the state is leveled against him.
Komla Kluchi, thank you so much for that update from the House of Parliament. He's a parliamentary correspondent, giving us the ins and outs about what has happened in the last hour or so, where the high echelons of the NDC, led by the former president and flag bearer John Mahama, were in Parliament to witness and support James Gyekye Kwesien, who has now been sworn in as MP for Asin North, and so full business begins effective immediately. Also, we saw the minority side all clad in white and a very scanty setup for the majority side, many of them not in Parliament, but of course would get updates of what else happens beyond the swearing in of James Gyekye Kwesien. And talking about James Gyekye Kwesien, we have an update on his court hearing, and so those are the images of the minority side earlier in Parliament, all clad in white, very jubilant mood, showing support and solidarity with their colleague MP who has now been elected. The majority leader, Oseiche Mensah Bonsu, says that James Gyekye Kwesien was not re-elected and that he actually didn't even exist earlier, as regards what the Supreme Court had said, and that he has just been elected as in a first-time election, so it is business as usual. Okay, so the update we have regarding James Gyekye Kwesien's criminal trial in court is that the court has adjourned the case to the 6th of July, where he is expected to reappear before the court. This adjournment is because today, which was the day he is expected to appear, is the day he is being sworn in. So the court has thus adjourned the case to the 6th of July following the swearing in of James Gyekye Kwesien, which took place a few minutes ago in the House of Parliament. So that's the latest regarding his court case, and in subsequent bulletins we'll let you also hear what the legal affairs, the head of legal for the NDC, Ibrahim Amalba, has been telling the media regarding James Gyekye Kwesien's case. You're still live on TV3. We are watching Midday Live. Let's go on to some other stories now. The U.S. ambassador to Ghana, Virginia Palmer, says she admires Ghana's inter-ethnic and religious harmony and has urged the police and the military to respect the rights of the population in exercising their powers. She also touted Ghana as being a leader of democracy and urged the state to provide education and resources to its people, particularly in the northern part of the country, and protect them from violent extremists and insurgency. Virginia Palmer was speaking on TV3 earlier today on New Day as part of activities to mark the Independence Day of the United States of America.
Right now, Ghana has been really a leader in saying, look, democracy is incredibly important to resilience and preventing insurgents and violent extremists. Projecting state power in the north so that people in the north of all of coastal West Africa get the educational resources and the clinics and the police protection that they need is incredibly important. Ghana's also been really smart about saying human rights are an important part of this, that the military and the police, when they're exercising their powers, need to do so respectfully of the population. So I have great respect for Ghanaian security forces and the way they do that. And again, we are helpful, I hope, in all of those areas, in security cooperation, in human rights training, and in economic programs that help everybody feel like they have prosperity. And I also deeply admire Ghana's tolerance. I think the inter-ethnic harmony, inter-religious harmony, and just tolerance in general are one of Ghana's greatest strengths. When the Vice President was here, she announced a series of programs for Africa, but including Ghana, on digitalization and women's entrepreneurship. So things that are very forward-looking and talk about Africa not as looking at past or the historical relationship, but where Africa and the United States can partner to grow together. Everything that Ghana and the United States want to achieve, whether it's in health or education or economic growth, all depends on women's full participation. And when women are strong, their families do better, their communities do better, and the nation does better. Democracy is incredibly important, and it's important that all Ghanaians feel like they have a future in Ghana and ought to be involved in Ghana's growth.
And today being the 4th of July is the Independence Day of the United States, so happy Independence Day to them. On to some legal issues. The Office of the Special Prosecutor says it will issue directives on the way forward in some 4 high-profile investigations into corruption and corruption-related activities following the conclusion of its probe into these cases. The Special Prosecutor, in its half-year report, has revealed that investigations have been conducted and concluded into the referral of Charles Edouboahin over his role in the investigation piece that was conducted by Anas Arimea Anas in the investigative documentary titled Galamsey, Economy by President Akufo-Addo. The other cases are allegations of an attempt by an unnamed and wealthy businessman to bribe some members of the majority side in Parliament, and allegations of the use of public office for profit against Charles Bissiou, which he's also investigating, and says some level of conclusion has been arrived at on that during his tenure when he was a secretary to the erstwhile Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, arising from still another documentary titled Galamsey Fraud. So we'll walk you through some of the key investigations that the Special Prosecutor says he has concluded, and then we'll also let you know which other ones are still ongoing. So we'll put that on your screen so you are also on the same page as we are. So the Special Prosecutor says, so these are cases that he says he has concluded investigations on. 1, the allegations of the use of public office for profit against Charles Bissiou. He says when he was the secretary to the IMCI, he has concluded investigations into this particular allegation. So a directive on what next will be issued shortly. Also, the Special Prosecutor says that he has concluded investigations into, so we're having a slight technical, so yeah, on your screens now you have it, where he's talking about the fact that he has concluded investigations into a referral by the President of the Republic in respect of suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding Charles Edouboahin, a former Minister of State at the Ministry of Finance, who was sacked with immediate effect and referred to the Special Prosecutor. That's what the Office of the Special Prosecutor has said, that for Charles Edouboahin, he has concluded investigations and he will let the nation know what's the next line of action. Allegations of an attempt by an unnamed and wealthy businessman who was in Parliament and attempted to bribe some members of the majority side of Parliament. So that's what he says, that for that one, he has concluded investigations. He will let us know what the next step will be. And there is currently an ongoing investigation. So these are the ones that are still ongoing. Suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding illegal mining which was referred, we recall Galamsey, that was referred to his office, and it targets officials of the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources and other state agencies. Also ongoing investigation into the issuance of customs advance rulings and markdowns of their benchmark valuation. Yeah, there's an alleged bribery by Airbus SE regarding the sale and purchase of military aircrafts for the Republic. This one spans much earlier, before he was even sworn in as special prosecutor. And then the final one, he says, another investigation they are looking into is suspected corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding the auction of vehicles and other goods by the Customs Division between the 1st of July 2016 and 15th of August 2022. It's quite a handful in terms of the ones that the special prosecutor has concluded and is still investigating. But in studio with me is Sixtus Dong Ulo, producer of the Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM 92.7, to help us understand some of the specifics captured in the special prosecutor's report. All right, so we'll come to Sixtus shortly. So the Attorney General's office has also been in the news. He says, that is Godfred Dami says that he's asking individuals who are commenting on high-profile criminal cases to abstain from such acts. He says their commentaries exceed the permissible limits of free speech, unduly interfering with the work of state prosecutors, and puts unnecessary pressure on the courts. The Attorney General's statement follows an appeal by the Domahine Osajefo Osadeyo Ajimambedu II for ongoing trial of James Jechikwesin to be halted, where he asked for the case, the Attorney General that is, to file a nolle prosequi to discontinue the trial. So he is not the only one. A number of people have also asked that the government, including the President and the Attorney General, make or take steps to see how they can discontinue the trial of James Jechikwesin, and the fact that high-profile people are commenting on it. Sixtus Dong Ulo has joined us in studio for this particular, and then the further details of what's captured in the statement. Sixtus, thank you for joining us. First of all, walk us through some of the specifics captured by the Attorney General. What exactly is the crust of what he is saying?
Well, I have a two-page statement, 7-paragraph statement, in which he expresses what he says is his serious concern with the increased tendency for persons, including members of the legal profession of considerable standing, to run, again, what he describes as extremely prejudicial comments. Now, the very first point he makes has to do with our free speech, our freedom to comment on the processes of the court in a democratic society. But what he says is now going beyond permissible limits of free speech. He says that the cases that are before the courts, and he mentions 3 specific ones, the Asin North MP's own, the minority leaders case, and also Dr. Stephen Opuni-Frimpong's case. Okay. He talks about these cases and says that there's a certain commentary that runs in the public space about these cases, and they are going beyond the limits of free speech. Limits because if you look at the interpretation that has been put on it, that as commentators, you are not allowed to comment on the merits or the substance of a case that is before the law courts. You can only do so after judgment has been pronounced on such a case. Okay. But in all of these cases that he's mentioned, you don't see, these are still live cases. These are still cases that are very much being heard in the courts. And even in the case of the Asin North MP, this morning they were supposed to be in court on the matter, even though the adjournment came in later on. And so he says this commentary that we see also interferes with the work of the Office of the Attorney General, and that doesn't augur well at all. And he links this particularly, if you go to paragraph 4 of the statement that he's given, to what he says, a concern he raised, is that there's this certain description of the cases as political, that James Jechikwesin, for instance, is being prosecuted because he's NDC. And this is something that we've heard from a good number of NDC people. Even this morning on the Sunrise Morning Show on 3FM, we had a legal team member of the NDC, Eduji Tamaklo, who made the same comment, categorical statement, that this was a political prosecution. So the Attorney General responds to that statement and says that crime has no color, and the duty to prosecute is not blinded by political coloration. And so if you go to paragraph 4 of that statement, he says that, reading him verbatim, he says that the decision to prefer a charge against an accused person is not made on the basis of a person's political status, social or economic standing, but on the strength of evidence subject to the scrutiny of the court. So we are simply being told that James Gyekye Quayson is not before the court on those criminal charges because he's NDC, but it's because there's an avalanche of evidence that is being put before the court for the court to pronounce on.
Was he specific in, for instance, mentioning whether the president's comments or the Domahine's comments were, which many have said are prejudicial? Did he
Martin,
mention
I'm sure this is one of the things that all of us were waiting to see in his response, but we haven't seen that. He disappoints us on that. He does not specifically say whether this was in direct response to President Akufo-Addo's comments in Asin North, whether he was responding to the Domahine's comment, whether he was responding to any of the many lawyers that we call as producers and presenters to comment on these cases. He doesn't say that. All he says is the blanket statement that we see in his opening statement, that the commentary run by people, many or some of whom are of the law profession, is not healthy and are beyond the permissible limits of free speech.
Okay. 6-2 Dong Ulo, producer, 3FM Sunrise. Thank you very much for your time. You're still watching Midday Live on TV3. We're taking a quick break. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint as compared to other paint brands on the market. We take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Who knows tomorrow? I've been living in Texas, you know.
The communigram, I got my card pick up our bank. Go out here, this evening, Pakajum, secret, you know. Now, Convera may trend the whole world, may receive us free all angles.
You don't have to live here to get your money. Really? Just use ZPay. You collect your money here, spend it here without even getting out from this chair.
I just said that.
Jimmy D, you got your token, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can easily redeem the token by yourself straight into your ZPay mobile money wallet. Just dial *270#. Select option 7 for MoneyGram. Enter your PIN. Then enter your 8-digit token. Enter all the transaction details. After that, press 1 to confirm. Then check the confirmation message. This is your first time, you get 10 CDs cashback and 2 CDs airtime free.
They didn't know about Ghana.
Sawa.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chese na me ankasa me period na se problems wom ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chese na nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo medro me fire no ene ma won kra me nu kofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba
and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama no nuru a ene ne ho iden a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Of Acrobato.
Hello.
Hey, Oshisho what chair?
Okay.
A free bra would the endpoint what does it? I'm a choir no. Me Joseph Sama name Koye and pass one of my name and then Magina Sabema. Now me be here for the one in Jarisa.
You heard everything. I have secret. Endpoint is my secret. Endpoint homeopathic clinic. I'm free.
Hello, my name is Dede, and as you already know, when it comes to quality phones and accessories, but yet affordable, it's Franco Trading Enterprise. We are #1. We have television set from 24 inches to 65 inches, Franco air condition from 1.5 horsepower to 2.5 horsepower. We have mobile phones, iPhones, Nokia, Samsung, Huawei, Infinix, Alcatel, and accessories like phone protectors, phone covers, pen drive, hard drives. We have skilled personnel who will serve you as you wish. So look no further than Franco Trading Enterprise. Franco Trading Enterprise, the home of quality air condition, television, mobile phones, and accessories.
The 3FM Baby Fair is here. Parents, make it a family affair with fun photo booths for family shoots, kids arena for the kids to have fun, and so much excitement.
This fair will be a one-stop shop for all childcare products, clothes, toys, child development products, and so much more for every child of every age.
3FM Baby Fair on the 7th July, 8th July, and 9th July 2023 at Marina Mall, Airport City, Accra.
To be a part of the fair and exhibit your products and services as a vendor, please call
0244 405027 right now.
The 3FM Baby Fair, your one-stop shop for all your childcare products. The 3FM Baby Fair is proudly brought to you by Marina Mall. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Welcome back to Midday Live on TV3. Time now for business, serious business. And Menu Afole is with us in studio. Hello, Menu.
Hi, Martin.
Okay, so yeah, give us the serious news in the business.
Thank you for the introduction. Welcome to the business segment with me, Menu Afole. We'll start off with the Bank of Ghana, which is making a strong case for a coordinated approach to tackling inflation. Head of Research Philip Abredu Otu said the central bank is committed to collaborating with the finance ministry and the private sector on improving economic growth. However, speaking to 3 Business, Mr. Otu expressed the need for availability of sufficient data on the economy.
We pick up everything that goes on in the media, and these things form part of what we take into consideration in formulating policy. The bank is also well placed strategically in picking up information from all over the country. We pick up prices from all over the regions, which serves as a leading indicator of future outcomes of inflation. We have leveraged on those outposts of the central bank, which is dotted all over the country, and now we pick up surveys from consumers, surveys from businesses. We're able to tell how consumer confidence is like. We're able to tell how business confidence is like, because it's very important for the growth process. The most important thing is the coordination that exists between the Ministry of Finance and the central bank. One responsible for smoothing out growth, the other responsible for inflation and financial stability. So if these two things are able to work nicely, I think the private sector picks it up, and then the private sector runs with the environment that these two institutions create.
Away from that, energy analyst Ishmael Ejekum-Hene has challenged comments by former Finance Minister Seth Terkper about government's mismanagement of energy sector levies. According to Mr. Ejekum-Hene, the contribution of ESLA to defraying the huge energy sector debts are specific to how much money is collected. Speaking on Business Focus, Mr. Ejekum-Hene said, although governments made some payments to the IPPs, there's still a lot more to be settled.
The PRC regulatory benchmark is that
98% of whatever power they buy and they bill, they should be able to collect 98%. Okay? If you're able to do anything less than that, that will represent the shortfall. That it's not the Ministry of Finance who is supposed to find that money. We're making it look like it's government that is owing the IPPs. Mind you, the power purchase agreements were signed between ECG and these IPPs. The only reason why government is coming in and government appears to be the one owing the IPPs is that ECG is 100% state-owned. And also, in most cases, the government provides sovereign guarantees to back the power purchase agreement. So that in brief is what I would say. But please, let's understand that some payments have been made between 2019 and February of 2023. My checks indicate that a total of about $5.7 billion has been paid.
In more business stories, as part of government's efforts towards enhancing the micro, small and medium enterprises space in the country, over 900,000 MSMEs have benefited from various supports through the Ghana Enterprises Agency since 2017. According to the Chief Executive Officer of the agency, Kosi Yankee Aye, more than 700 million cedis has been disbursed to these beneficiaries to help them scale up their operations.
Over the time that I started at Ghana Enterprises Agency in 2017, over 900,000 plus businesses have benefited from support from us. That has been very intentional because the government, led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has been very particular about a private sector-led economy. And once that becomes your focus, then the intervention and support goes towards building the SMEs and the private sector. As you heard me clearly during the conversations, I said that there's some work that government does and there's some work that private sector does. And our goal is not to actually get in the way of private sector. And so a lot of the work we're doing and what we seek to build is to ensure that we are supporting private sector to lead in that intervention. Not all 900,000. So as you're aware, our work is not only access to funding. So most of the times people assume that, oh, that means they're giving funding. So the 900,000, as you heard from our beneficiaries, have different levels of support. But I can say for a fact that over 300,000 have benefited from over 700 million Ghana cedis in the past, since 2017, since I took up our leadership at the Ghana Enterprises Agency.
Also, Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Korte, says the Ghanaian economy may record modest growth in the second quarter of 2023. According to The Economist, although the general macroeconomic indicators have not been favorable within the period, the services sector will most likely record the highest growth.
Looking at the general macroeconomic environment, and looking at some of the new taxes that were introduced, utility price increases, we would expect to record some growth, maybe slightly above the first quarter or just about what we recorded in the first quarter of 2023.
According to Professor Peter Korte, the services sector will record the highest growth among the subsectors of the economy.
Certainly services will lead because if you look at the cost of doing business, that has gone up, and that severely affects manufacturing and, of course, with industry as well, and with some of the taxes, etc. Certainly going to see industry grow, if possible, but not as much as services would grow. Given the debt exchange program and given the economic environment, you see the financial sector struggling, but other services will certainly pick up. And I expect to see some growth in agriculture, given that the rains have been fairly good, although fertilizers and other inputs have not been forthcoming like it used to do in previous years.
And that's how we wrap up the business segment here on Midday Live with me, Menu Afo. Stay with us for more news after the break.
What does love mean to you? Is it words of affirmation, quality time, service, or lovely surprises? we like to get a little cocky and mix things up a bit on Perfect Match. The drama just went up a notch on Perfect Match Extra. Experience the cocktail of love, drama, betrayal, explosive arguments, and steamy confessions. Get ready for a thrilling love journey with twists and turns as your television experience just got better with Perfect Match Extra only on TV3. Perfect Match Extra.
Friendship, reality, abstinence.
Let the games begin.
Catch Perfect Match Extra every Monday at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. and the live eviction shows on Saturdays at 8 p.m. only on TV3. Sponsored by Close Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Geisha Moringa and Geisha Black Soap for soft and glowing skin. Frutelli Calipo, Forever Clear. Beauty by Cava.
Darling Lemon Drink.
Flora Tissue. And Napa Foods. Say Napa. Enye Ono Soko. Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil. Heaven Dear Bakope. Top Choco. Ebony Condoms.
Gino Tomato Mix.
Supported by Bell Ice. Capfam. Empire Kitchens. Drugnet. Malcolm. Where Ghana shops.
Blue Jeans Energy Drink.
Ready. The 3FM Baby Fair is here.
Parents, make it a family affair with fun photo booths for family shoots, kids arena for the kids to have fun, and so much excitement.
This fair will be a one-stop shop for all childcare products, clothes, toys, child development products, and so much more for every child of every age.
3FM Baby Fair on the 7th July, 8th July, and 9th July 2023 at Marina Mall, Airport City, Accra.
To be a part of the fair and exhibit your products and services as a vendor, please call
0244 405027 right now.
The 3FM Baby Fair, your one-stop shop for all your childcare products. The 3FM Baby Fair is proudly brought to you by Marina Mall. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
It's the Date Rush Pool Party coming to you live on Saturday, 8th July at the breathtaking Pleasant Gardens, Jolu. Get ready to groove to the infectious beats of the sensational Dope Nation, the energetic prince of the street, LaRusso, the fast-rising TV3 Mentor X winner, DSL, who will be setting the stage on fire, along with the baddest DJs, DJ Faculty, DJ Abiam, DJ Phil, and more. So put on your trendiest swimwear, grab your friends, and dive into an epic celebration of summer. Remember, it's Saturday, 8th July at the stunning Pleasant Gardens, Jolu. Doors open at 3 p.m. Don't miss out on this unforgettable experience. Tickets are going for a cool 50 Ghana cedis. For tickets, dial *7130*33*25#. To purchase or make a reservation, call 0244-405027. Date Rush Pool Party, the summer event you don't want to miss.
Sponsored by Yosin Dure.
When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between.
On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamsi.
Ghana Tonight shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3.
Brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Welcome back to Midday Live. Time now for sports. So Reku Ampofo is with us. Hello, Reku.
Hi, Martin.
All right, let's know what's happening in sports then.
Well, thank you very much. And hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the sports segment on Midday Live with me, Reku Ampofo. We begin with the Black Meteors, who suffered an early exit from the ongoing Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. So, what is the way forward for the team? We explore that in a special 3 Sports report.
Black Meteors have returned home after a disappointing showing in Morocco. Ghana have to wait 5 more years to achieve the Olympic dream. What next for the technical team and playing body?
The team stands dissolved because this team was for the Olympic Games and we didn't qualify. There's no tournament for us next year. So the team stands dissolved anyway.
Ibrahim Tanko has been in the spotlight in the last few days. He managed the Meteors in 2 consecutive Under-23 AFCON tournaments without success. But is he still the man to lead the young squad?
We have a technical directorate that should be able to assess the performance of Coach Tanko and his technical assistants and be able to tell whether they deserve to be given another opportunity at what they are good at. What they have done in Morocco shouldn't be the only reason we would, throw them away. I don't think Coach Tanko himself is a bad coach. I will not accept any argument that says that he's not good. But what is it that we want to do with the football? How can Tanko help in the setup? If he cannot play any role, then you would want to find out who else can do it better than him. So these are things that the technical directorate of the FA to look at.
The next international assignment will provide answers for Ghanaians. But until then, enthusiasts will mourn the team's unexpected failure.
Well, the sad thing is that the tournament will still go on without Ghana, and in a highly anticipated match-up, host Morocco will rely on their home support as they prepare to face Mali in the second semi-final clash of the CAF Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations. Now, Coach Ishamis Sharai's team seems to extend their unbeaten streak to 4 consecutive matches as they go head-to-head against the formidable Mali side at the Prince Moulay Abdullah Stadium in Rabat. Matches between the Eagles and Morocco have always delivered captivating spectacles, with their last meeting, the AFCON Under-17, resulting in a thrilling 6-5 penalty shootout victory for Morocco after a goalless draw. Well, let's do some more here and focus on transfers because Brighton are interested in signing Ghana attacking midfielder Mohamed Kudus from Ajax as they assess their midfield options for the coming season. Kudus is one of a number of players Brighton are looking to bring to the Amex Stadium to strengthen their midfield for next season. However, the 22-year-old is under contract at Ajax until 2025, but has rejected a 1-year extension in April and is keen to leave the Johan Cruyff Arena this summer. Arsenal, Manchester United and Newcastle are among those that have been tracking Mohamed Kudus over the past few months. Let's do some tennis and get updates from the ongoing Wimbledon because American teenager Coco Gauff was the first big-name casualty at the Wimbledon after losing a high-quality match against the resurgent Sofia Kenin. 7th-seed Gauff lost 6-2, 2-6, 6-4 in the first round to qualifier Kenin, who has dropped down the rankings since winning the 2020 Australian Open. The 19-year-old burst onto the scene at the Wimbledon in 2019 when, as a 15-year-old phenomenon, she came through qualifying before shocking 5-time champion Venus Williams on her way to the last 16 of the competition. Well, that's how we're wrapping up the sports segment here on Midday Live. My name is Ore Kwampofo. We'll be back right after this break with entertainment.
Ready, set, go!
The
3FM Baby Fair is here.
Parents, make it a family affair with fun photo booths for family shoots, kids arena for the kids to have fun, and so much excitement.
This fair will be a one-stop shop for all childcare products, clothes, toys, child development products, and so much more for every child of every age.
3FM Baby Fair on the 7th July, 8th July, and 9th July 2023 at Marina Mall, Airport City, Accra.
To be a part of the fair and exhibit your products and services as a vendor, please call
0244 405027 right now.
The 3FM Baby Fair, your one-stop shop for all your childcare products. The 3FM Baby Fair is proudly brought to you by Marina Mall. 3FM, your urban life.
And that's our cue for entertainment news on Midday Live, and we've been joined in studio by Crystal.
Yes, indeed.
Hello, Crystal.
No, okay. Hi. You all right?
Yes, I'm good. What's happening in entertainment?
Well, there's quite a lot going on. Talking about, an academy and all sorts. Let's get into it. Okay. Crooks Global has officially released the Come Up album after a music writing camp with some promising talents. The 12-track album features artists like Dakwa, Ofe, Neashan, and many others.
After a successful music writing camp that was aimed at positioning talents and attracting international recognition and collaborations, Crooks Global has officially released a Come Up album. The project featured some promising music talents in Ghana. The 12-track album comes with songs like Krokrome, Vibrate, Do Me, and Foundation.
Make up your mind, oh, you got the meanest wine. I got to make you mine.
Speaking to 3 Entertainment at the album listening party, VGMA and Song Artist of the Year nominee Nia Shong was super elated to have been featured on the project.
So I, went to the writing camp. I made magic happen. I just want to say thank you to Crooks Global, for putting this writing camp together, because I made one of the best songs of my career, and it's on this album titled Vibrate. So that goes to show that, you need to be prepared at any point in time.
Other gifted musicians on the album include Dakwa, Boy Wonder, and Ofe.
I know you want to go find another.
Also, Hollywood filmmaker and business coach Angela White has called for tax waivers, support from the government, and other incentives to attract international film productions to Ghana. Speaking at the recently held Essence Festival in New Orleans, Louisiana, the TV producer expressed her disappointment in the Ghanaian government for not supporting her when she attempted to invest in the country. She wants the government to step up its support.
Dealt with the president, we dealt with everybody who's in charge last year. We had dealt with every aspect of government last year and trying to get support for that company being American, coming in, bringing in tons of business.
She revealed her decision to move her next film project from Ghana following the challenges she and her team had to face while shooting and investing in the country.
We need help in the form of housing. We need to form discounts for rentals and transportation. We need the country to work with us. And this became a really big battle that Chris and I were on the front lines with. And for me to go back to Ghana, that conversation has to happen again.
The feature project 9 employed a crew of over 120 individuals and featured a stellar cast of more than 50 actors.
Our crew was over 120 people. Our cast was over 50 people. We had hotels, Airbnbs, everything. I brought a lot of revenue to Ghana, and the reason why my next project will probably be South Africa is because I got nowhere with the Ghanaian government. It really became a battle. And so I'm happy to see Idris take this fight, because if they don't start getting country credits, everybody's familiar with like tax credits, country credits, the work's gonna go to South Africa.
Now, internationally acclaimed Ghanaian multi-instrumentalist and creative industry expert Kwame Yeboah has been made a member of the Recording Academy of the Grammy Awards. Announcing the news via a Facebook post, Kwame Yeboah wrote, "I am honored to be a member of this year's Recording Academy. I'll be joining an amazing team of professional musicians, artists, and creators to serve and celebrate music in all its creative forms. Thank you for support, and I look forward to contributing with this new opportunity. As a member, you're able to submit projects for Grammy consideration, vote in the process, and advocate for music rights. Other Ghanaian actors who have been part of the Recording Academy are Rocky Dawuni, Stonebwoy, Riala, and more recently, MOG Music." All right, I'm Crystal Kwame Ayi of 3 Entertainment. You can follow us on all socials for more updates at 3 Entertainment's GH. Up next is International News.
Senegal's President Macky Sall has ruled out seeking re-election in 2024, ending widespread speculation that he would run for a third term. "The 2019 term was my second and last term," he said in a televised address. Rumors he would try to extend his grip on power have fueled unrest several times since 2021, with dozens killed. The opposition had called for fresh protests if Mr. Sall decided to run again, which most legal experts say would have violated the constitution. In his address late on Monday, Mr. Sall, 61, said there had been much speculation and commentary on his eventual candidature to this election. His decision, carefully considered, is not to run as a candidate in the upcoming election, he said.
And that's it for the bulletin. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Martin Nasidu Date. If you go